Good evening, one and all. Happy Wednesday. It's very warm up here. It is very warm indeed. How are we? Good evening, Mark. Ahoy hoy, Alice. Hello, Nurgle Nerd. How are we all doing out there? We are live on a Wednesday. Hello, Stephen. Hello, Yamail. Good evening, Mike. Evening, Colonel. How are you all doing? Is everyone grooving today? Everyone having a good week? It is the one and only Warhipster Jerky Gunner. It's me. I am here. What's being warhammered? Currently, I'm painting some electro priests. Well, this is like the second layer of paint that I've applied to a model, and I will show you guys a little bit later. I've just, you know, I've been struggling with the old motivation factor the last 5 days actually, and so I've come online so you guys can perk me up, as if I don't already ask enough from all of you. Because I'm sat looking at all the things I have to paint and I'm just like, bleh. I don't want to do it. I just want to play video games all day and eat cheesy crisps. Graham, you got some progress done on your Tale of Many Warhipsters entry. That's awesome. I haven't. I haven't yet. So yeah, my motivation isn't there at the moment. To paint at an alarmingly fast degree of speed. Which is a problem because I have many things I need to do. No cities yet. So often I kind of do streams where I go, hey guys, I was feeling bad and now I'm feeling good. So what I thought I would do today is do a stream where I'm currently feeling bad. I'm not like terrible, right? You know, I'm not like having the worst time in the world. I'm just a little bit kind of low energy at the moment. Have you got anything done? I found that a finished item is always the top motivator for me. No. I've got nothing done. That's what I'm doing now. I'm painting these. And chatting to all of you. Because live chat and the live streams have a habit of helping me walk away feeling uplifted and ready to go, you know? So that's a good thing. Boo, 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 boo. Even for something that you love as much as Warhammer, right? It's hard to always just kind of be like super upbeat and excited for it, you know? That's kind of what I'm experiencing at the moment. It's a little bit of a funk that we're in. But we'll get there. Would using a sponge be a nice substitute for airbrushing? Mainly a cost thing. Yeah. Sponging would do something. It wouldn't do what you think it's gonna do, like, for in terms of airbrushing. But, like, I don't use an airbrush at all anyway, so... The best cost-saving measure I've ever seen is to look for a color primer in the main color of the model that you want to do it, because it'll save you a pile of time. Not loads of time, but it'll save you a pile of time. However, if you want to paint with contrast paint, you can't really do that because it'll actually just add a load of time to what you're doing. So if you spray something purple and then you want to do the rest of it in contrast paint, you've got to re-prime everything, because everything will have a purple tint. You've got to repaint everything that's not going to be purple, because otherwise it'll all have a purple tint to it, which you don't want on some things. Captain Manners, that is very kind of you. See, I don't personally mind the 10th edition stuff. I think 10th edition is perfectly fine. The only reason it would concern me is if I was going to events, and I'm not really into the idea of going to events at the moment. Just not really particularly excited. It doesn't really fill me with much joy. So, you know, I think the difference between 8th and 9th has been very, very different. The reaction's been very different because I think we're a lot more... we're spending a lot more time on the internet, right? Like the viewing habits and I think the engagement habits of Warhammer from the beginning of 8th to the end of 9th, that's 6 years. It's a huge amount of time in the digital world. I think at the beginning of 8th, I wouldn't have even thought to have looked at a video about how people felt about it. That's not something I would have done. And even at the end of 8th, not really. I would just watch people doing occasional battle reports, but I've always been more painting focused. I think there's so many creators now in this space, and everyone's got something that they want to say about it. There's a fatigue when you're consuming content like that, because you can find, once you watch one video that damns it all to a hellscape, YouTube then goes, hey, here's a bunch of other ones which confirm that. Same as if you watch one that's like, hey, this is the greatest thing ever, then YouTube goes, yeah, here's a bunch of other stuff that confirms that. Have to say, maybe an unpopular opinion, but 10th has kind of fallen flat hype-wise. I don't think it has. I think a lot of people are really, really happy about it. They're just not on the internet. This is the whole point. I think there's a bunch of people who have kind of come back to Warhammer 40,000 as a consequence of the 10th edition launch. And they're super excited to get back into it. And these are people who've been gone since 8th came in. And that's what I mean. That's like a 6-year gap. So they're not people that are sat, watching. They're not watching me, These are just my friends that colloquially are saying, oh, I saw that, they're doing this thing now, and I thought I'd come back and see what's going on. And I'm like, oh, that's cool, man. Welcome back. And that's really exciting. But I think if you've been like in the Warhammer world for the last 6 to 9 years, then yeah, it will probably have fallen flat for you, because I think a lot of creators have dismissed this one out of hand. And I think that comes from the immediacy of content, right, and the immediacy of consumption. And like, are there problems with it? Sure. There always is. Every edition has always been exactly the same thing. In every game ever, there's always bugs. It doesn't matter. It's you just kind of have to accept. You just have to accept that. Even like the most perfect thing in the world, someone will find something that needs to be patched, right? It just so happens that we all kind of live in this universe of Warhammer 40,000 where everyone kind of has this kind of, it must be perfect, and it's never going to be, which is not to make an excuse for it, because some of the things that are not great about this current edition are, things that could have been avoided perhaps if there was more of a competitive mindset within that Warhammer rules writing team. And I mean that from people who think, don't live under the assumption that that people are going to not abuse something, because you can write the coolest thing in the world under the assumption that no one's going to abuse it, but people will. And then they'll go on the internet and they'll go, hey, here's how I abused this. And then everyone else will go, cool, I'll abuse it the same way. And then you go, great, so now we've got this thing sat with this, not being used how it was intended. Whose fault is that? Is that Games Workshop's, or is that the people who consumed the content? Well, it's a little column A and a little column B. But we never talk about how the audience is to blame, because the customer is always right. So that's the thing, is like, you can talk about this subject in such a way where it's, it sounds like you're either, you either get accused of being a shill and you're defending the evil company, where it's like, well, you bought the toys, that's all I'm saying. But like, I think, there's things to be said about the status of Warhammer 40,000. Is that it's a game that is now currently in beta because it's in an index. It's in an index format, and it should have its chance to grow into the game that it can be, and it has always been, right? But then at the same time, you can also say, this is what happens when everyone gets what they asked for. Do you see what I mean? Because, people have always said, why don't they release all the rules at once? Well, this is why. You release all the rules at once, and then there's problems. So you then have to fix them, because it's a massive amount of rules. So then it's like, well, why don't they do all the codexes at once? And it's like, if you think the indexes are bad, you really want 30 codexes to hit the store at once, where there'll be extra stuff in there for it to go potentially wrong? But it's the same of every game. Every tabletop game is the same. Every video game is the same. There is a problem, you know. There will always be a problem because you can't keep an eye on these things. You can't look at 40k at once. You can't look at all of it at once. Like, have you ever tried this? For those of you who are long-term fans of Games Workshop content, if you have loads of armies, I want you to try and read all of your codexes at once and then tell me how it's easy. Customers can be a twat. I'm glad I don't deal with many face-to-face situations. Yeah, the customers can be. But you know, you can't say it's entirely the customer's fault that they're not using your product right, because if they're not using your product right, then you're not communicating how to use your product properly, so then it's your fault again. But that's the whole point. It's Salinas, I don't have an AdMech army. No, these are for my friend Klaas. And I need to get these done because who knows what the future holds, and I've currently got, you know, spare time between big releases. So yeah, I mean, to go back to the kind of the title of the stream, right? 40k is as a game hasn't particularly motivated me since probably the beginning of 9th. Like, it's cool, and I like the game, and I like the world. I love the world, but like, I'm not like 100% in. And like, if I was to say like I got lost by 40k in 9th edition, I'd say that was probably fair, because, and it's not because I thought the game was too complicated or too bloated. No, I thought it was fine. I didn't like it because it wasn't geared towards me as somebody who enjoys Warhammer, right? So, and particularly at the age that I'm at in terms of my enjoyment, because I think most hobbyists go through this, where when you start, you kind of really like the idea of big armies and playing the big game, and then as you kind of get older, and well, and I'm not talking about like my age, but like as you spend more and more time in the hobby, you kind of, it becomes more about kind of like passion projects and stuff. So that's kind of what 9th edition turned into for me. 9th edition was very much for me about kind of was about one, getting the chaos stuff all off the ground and enjoying that and seeing the edition through Chaos Demon's eyes and this, that, and the other, and that was great. I really enjoyed myself doing that. But for me, the focus there wasn't on building an army with which I could crush. The focus there was on building a passion project of mine, which has been, you know, not on the go for many years. It's been on the go for a few years now, but you know, that was what 9th edition was to me. Hence why, like, you know, when I did my review of the Codex Chaos Demons, I was like, hey, here's all these things that's cool. And a lot of people were just like, you didn't mention Flamers. Flamers are competitive, and I'm like, yeah, but I don't like them. They're not in my plan. They're not in my plan for my army. That's why I don't own any. And I did some for Adam, because they are in his plan for him to make a, at the time, competitive army. And that's the point. So it's like, as I say, you know, we as hobbyists, I think everybody goes through this kind of a bit more of a hipster phase in a way, where you're like, oh, you know, I used to play the big game, but now I'm just like really into this version of this thing that I played when I first got into it. And for people who've been long serving, that's things like Mordheim and you know, Man of War and things like that. But like for me, it's like I still really like the stuff, but I kind of at times feel like there isn't actually a Warhammer game for me at the moment that I'm just like super into. And I'm hoping all of that changes with Old World. Just like something that's super granular and like, you know, really, really cool. Because I mean, I will always be into amazing models, right? That's never going to change from either game system. Like, think of all the stuff that's coming out for the Tyranids. I thought that, you know, like, I thought like the Screamer Killer and stuff was really cool. I didn't like the Psychophage, but I thought the Screamer Killer and things like that was really cool. Oh, I just got a... Oh, Kataro. Thank you very much for the 5 gifted memberships. It's very kind of you, my friend. Apparently the subscriber count is stuck. Oh, there we go. See? Katara, that's very, very kind of you. Thank you for that. I should actually say as well, I haven't said this. If you would like to, please do consider becoming a member, as it's a really nice way to help and support the channel. However, if you want a free way to support the channel, convince somebody else to gift memberships. Make sure you've got them turned on. And if you want a simpler free way to support the channel, then do make sure that you like this video. Norn Emissary, yeah, it's a great model. Norn Emissary is a fantastic model. Saint 14 Osiris. Hi, thanks for the video. I'm painting nids following your Gorgon video. Do you have anything you would do upscaling the big nids? Like what colour you do the brains? Joe, I can't remember what Gorgon looks like. Give me a second. Hive Fleet Gorgon. Oh, it's this one. How would you do the brains? I'd probably do them just like with pink. I'd probably do them with the same kind of pink that you do in the little recesses, in the kind of in the striations on the arms and things. Any chance of an updated Necron scheme? Your older videos for the Warriors are great, but just feel a little dated. No offense meant. No, that's fair, Cameron. It's an old video now. Including an, I think I used Canoptech shade, what's it called? Cryptek Armor Shade Gloss, which you can't get anymore. What are you painting, Josh? I'm painting some Electro priests. At the moment. I'm shading them. This is what an unmotivated Warhipster looks like. What was your first hook into Warhammer? Mine was sadly the Fire Warrior PS2 game. Fire Warrior was great, Rich. But my first hook was a copy of White Dwarf, which my mother bought me. And inside that was a free Necron Warrior. and that was when I was 6 years old. So that would have been 26 years ago, coming up 27. That was my first hook. Hello, Conic. And I've been involved ever since. Took a few breaks here and there, but nothing serious. Are you guys hobbying tonight? What are you guys hobbying on tonight? Let me know. Baldur's Gate is great. I've been playing that. The last couple of days. I almost did a Baldur's Gate stream tonight. But I thought... Well, I didn't know if anyone would want to see that. But you guys should check out Baldur's Gate 3 if you haven't already. If you love D&D and you've always thought, do you know what would make D&D better? Some slight mechanic changes and playing a video game version of it. Well, Baldur's Gate 3 is the game for you. Because it is fantastic. But yeah, I nearly did a Baldur's Gate stream. Trouble is sometimes when you do things like that, YouTube just goes, hey, listen, you paint Warhammer, boy. You don't play Baldur's Gate. So we're not going to tell anybody that you're playing Baldur's Gate. And that would have been sad time. But if the demand is there for it, I might do one. Working on Scarbrand. Just finished building him. Nice. Slaughter and carnage. He's cool. Do you know what was particularly crushing last week? I'm not gonna lie, guys. It's honesty time. What was particularly crushing last week was Peyton and Croak. It was a lot, and it was a lot to do in a short space of time. As those of you who have painted and those of you who've watched the 2-hour-long video will know, it took a lot out of me. And it's one of those things, right, where it's like, I think people who've watched the stream for any kind of time will know that painting Lord Croak is something that comes up a lot. People have said, will you ever do a Croak video? Will you do more Seraphon videos? And you go, yes. Yes, I will. So much so that the demand feels like it's through the roof. So I make the time and I paint it, and I'm very happy with how it came out, and I think he looks fabulous, and it's a real testament and achievement for me to have got that video done, because that model terrified me. I didn't want to do it for ages. I just had to bite the bullet and get through it. So I did that, and it's out there, and it is one of the worst performing videos on release ever. But you know, you win some, you lose some. But it's just heartbreaking sometimes. And, you know, maybe it's because it's 2 hours long. Maybe it's because it's not attached to the Seraphon released. Maybe it's because it's an AOS video and nobody cares about AOS at the moment because everybody's painting Tyranids and Space Marines from their Leviathan boxes. But it's just like, you know, it's hard. It's hard to put yourself out there with something like that. Scarbrand, thank you very, very much for becoming a member. That is very kind of you. Welcome. I actually saw it the second time. Frykin, I'm currently following along to your Archaon video. Good luck with him. He's the best. The bestest boy. I adore him. Do. Bum, bum, bum. It's funny because Tell Them Many Warhipsters was last week, and I feel like that, I don't know about you guys, but to me, Tell Them Many Warhipsters was a rip-roaring success. Well, it is, because it's still ongoing. But that was like really, really nice. I hope you guys are enjoying it and you've enjoyed the first month, and you're looking forward to month 2, and the next stream. I promise that my current funk, as it were, will not be there for part 2. I am super hyped for it. Planned what I'm gonna do. You just have to wait and see what that is. I'll sit and have a proper read of chat in a minute. I'm just nearly done with the Nuln Oil and these 4 men on the foreman. But yeah, John's like, it's sad because it's like you think like something like Lord Croak as a video will just do well regardless of when you release it, but you release it when I did and it hasn't done very well, and you know, that's fine, you know, it is what it is, can't beat yourself up about it, but it doesn't like particularly encourage me for things that I know won't do so very well. Do you know what I mean? So like things like painting, well, these guys, right? So I'm like, yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, I'll make a video on them. We've got to finish the set, right? Painting Electro Priests. Fine. I know it won't do very well, but it's like, ugh. I've got to get myself psyched up to do this, you know? And then I go through these periods where I'm like, oh god, what if I do Cities of Sigmar and everyone's just like, meh. Chad dropping in with the 10 gifted Warhipster memberships. Being an absolute lad out here. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much. That puts us on 379. Let's go, baby. I should just check the totals on it, actually, because there are movers and shakers all of the time. New Doc Prime, you do so much so quick. Look after yourself. I'm trying. I'm trying to look after myself. I just found your channel the other day. I'm literally just starting my first army. I followed your tutorial video for the Nurgle Plague Bearers and they came out so good. Thank you. Oh, Gatorbot, that's very kind of you. I'm glad you enjoyed that one and welcome to Warhammer. Alessandro, greetings from Ireland. I'm a total newbie and I just got started with the hobby 2 weeks ago. Want to take the occasion for thanking you for your awesome videos. No, that's very kind of you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. And also, welcome to you. Eight likes from the magic number. That's what I'm saying, guys. Get them likes in. We want to hit that magic number. You love Cities of Sigmar. As long as you enjoy it, the views will follow. Personally, can't wait to see it. I'm super excited for it. I don't know if I said thank you, New Doc, for the 2. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Billicant Ruiz, I'm following your Leviathan paint videos. You could call it a playthrough. That would make sense. My walkthrough guide. Should I change them? Should I just change the whole outlook of the channel? Let's paint. Walkthrough. The Leviathan Army, part 17. The boss is crazy! Don't get me wrong, I am excited for Cities of Sigmar. It's just that, you know, at this current juncture, what I have planned in my head, and to give you an instinct of, and I was thinking of actually making a video about this process, right? Of doing like a week in the life of what it's like doing YouTube full time as a small time content creator. Let me know if you'd like to see that. But essentially, it's at the moment what I have planned in my head is what we usually do. So do a review of the box where we look at the sprues, how long it takes to build everything, things to watch out for. By the way, if anybody has any useful things they want to add into that video, that type of video, please do let me know, because I feel like what I do is really valuable, but I don't know if there's more value add I could add, if you see what I mean. But so a review of the box itself, and then we've got what, 2 units of the, what are they called, steel helms? So 1 video for a unit of 10 of them. And then, I guess, 10 other cities. I don't know how many will be in the book. There must be loads, because I can think of a bunch off the top of my head. Like Misthaven and Settlers Gain. There's Hammerhall, both versions. Exchelsis, Vindicarum. Yeah, there's more. Did I say Settlers Gain? Greywater Fastness. There's loads in the current version, iteration of it. Anyway. So that's what? That's 12 videos. Then there's the Marshal. And there's the guy with the angry bucket. And then there's the Cavaliers as well. So that'll be 15 videos. $11 named. that mean there's 11 sub-factions? Well, there you go. If there's 11 sub-factions in that book, then there's a unit of 10 for the city that I want to put them in. So for me, it's like... I'm kind of between the Living City, that's another one, and Hammerhall Gyra to go with my Sylvaneth. But then there's also Vindicarum, because they could go with my Celestial Vindicators. Do you know what I mean? So there's a unit of 10, and then 10 more. So that's 11. If there's 11 sub-factions in there, then that's 11 different videos. So, plus a review. So 10, plus a review of the box, with the build instructions and things to watch out for when building, and all the mold lines and all that kind of thing. I can smell burning. I don't think it's my computer. I think we're fine. The ones on the box art, they are Hammerhall Aksha. But yeah, anyway, sorry. 10 plus a review plus the Marshal plus Angry Man with a Bucket and the Cavaliers. So 15 videos. The burning was you lighting a candle. Oh, thank goodness for a minute. I literally thought my computer was on fire for a minute there. Brandon Roberts, your video on Exalted 8-Bound has helped inspire me to work on a massive World Eaters army. Thanks for all the great tutorials. That's very kind of you, Brandon. Thank you. I was there the day Josh's computer burst into flames live on stream. I mean, that is the kind of thing we're likely to do around here. We continue on, despite the computer being in flames. Right, I now need some Reichland Flesh Shade. It's because Josh is smoking hot. Oh, there you go, Mike's painting minis. As long as you like them. As long as you guys like the video format that we do and the things that we cover in them, I'm happy with that. Because I like to tackle those boxes based on, you know, what the main feature of the box is. And while for a lot of people the main feature of the box is the rule book, more people care about the miniatures inside, you know? So it's like, what do you want to know about the miniatures inside? And rather than just like open the box and go, hey, look, there they are. Here's some sprues. Let's talk about the rules. I'm just like, nah, let's just focus on the sprues and things to watch out for when you're building them, because I don't like building. So for somebody who doesn't like building miniatures, those videos are a pain in the ass to make. But they have to be done in order to, you know, get the video out, in order to get the set painted, if you see what I mean. So got a slam here, it's just sat here. Where is my Reichland Flesh Shade? Is it here? No. Is that it? Is it just staring him in the face? Yeah. Holy diver. Heyo. Yeah, I probably won't be interested in AOS again until Flesh Eater Court's book is out. I tried motivating with a Soul Blight army, but no dice. I'm really into the Soul Blight at the moment. I'm really liking them. I really enjoyed painting that Vampire Lord. And I can't wait for the Tale of Many Warhipsters so that I can get to the Blood Knights. Now, arguably, I could do them now, because I could say, hey, it's a Castelli army. So, they are now battle line. But that felt a little bit like cheating. Do you hate building as well, Laura? It's the worst, isn't it? But thank you very much for the 5, Holy Diver. That's very kind of you. Thank you. I greatly appreciate it. You paint more miniatures. Hey, Peter. I'm low effort. I'm low effort today. I'm streaming because I'm forcing you guys to perk me up. That's what I'm doing. One of the things I struggle a lot with is color theory. What colors go with what? What do you do? What do you combine to get this / that? Video guides on this would be helpful, useful, but don't know how much of a wider appeal. Yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those things, Paul. Like, is Paul? Yeah, Paul. Like, there is definitely value add in a video about that. It's just how do you go about writing that video? Because you can talk about color theory for hours, right? You can just go on and on and on about it. And how do you approach it? Do you talk about the theory of color theory, or do you actively apply it in the video, right? So do you go, here's how we're going to make a cool blue by adding this and this, and then here's why this works. You see what I mean? But if you go down that route, I guarantee you you'll miss out someone's color that they're trying to make. People will go, this is a cool video, but you didn't show how to make mauve. And I need a mauve. And you're like, okay. Because again, color is just a massive subject. I can try, again, it's one of those things, there's a script sat in a vault that keeps getting looked at every so often on how I would do that video. And I will get back to you when I've cracked it. It was like when I did the video about speed paint and what they're called, express color and contrast paints. And to this day, people comment on that, telling me I'm wrong. I say, well, you can't please everybody, but you know. And it's like, my opinion can't be wrong. Because it's my opinion. And also, you've missed the point of the video. The whole point of the video was me trying to figure out which one of those things was right for me. And as it turned out, contrast was the right thing for me, but it wasn't. It's not the right thing for everybody. But people just you know, don't listen to that bit because they've been conditioned to be mad. It's like I thought about doing a video like that about Warhammer. It's like, which game is right for me? But we all know the answer to that. The game that's right for me is currently Age of Sigmar. but it might well be Old World, and I might do that video when Old World's out. I'll have to have a look at it. But again, it's such a huge, massive subject that it's like it takes a monumental amount of work to get those videos made. And when when you've got painting videos that you need to make, it's like it just drops down the priority list of things to do, because my YouTube channel is in a wonderful position where I am making money from it, which is great, but I'm not in that position where take a month off and you'll be fine. If I took a month off, I would have to spend that month doing a part-time job to make sure things are okay. So I have to, I have to keep making videos in that time. So it's like the big complicated subjects like color theory are one of those things where it's like, oh, do you know what? These are ones to sit on for the future, for when I know that I can release a video and it puts out sort of, I don't know, 10,000 views in the first week, which they currently do not do. Should I start a 40k Grot army or a Dark Mechanicus? Holy Diver, thank you for being a member for 2 months. It's very kind of you. It's because of people like you that I am in a very fortunate position, being members and super chats and people who do watch my videos and subscribe on Patreon and all of that. But ad revenue is also a big part of it, and I would always much prefer that ad revenue be the biggest money maker for the channel, because it means that it's self-sufficient, so it's not entirely dependent on me being around 24/7 all of the time, which is where the channel has been at for 4 years. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time and hard work, and you don't have a lot of time for holiday, especially when you're a niche within a niche, right? So contrast painting, it's become less of a niche as more people have gotten into it, which is great, and I'm very, very glad about that. But you're a niche within a niche hobby, so it's not like when you are a successful video game content creator, right? And you can just put a video out that slaps up sort of 20,000 views in the first day, and you're like, cool, that's the kids fed. It's why we do 2 a week. That's why last week was spent painting Lord Croak, Frostlord on Stonehorn, and Thanquol and Bone Ripper, which is a video which will come out tomorrow, hopefully. I've got one last thing I need to do on it, which is just finish off the base, which I will probably do later tonight. And then that video will come out, and Katara will be very happy, because I will then go to the post office and I shall post him his Thanquol and Bone Ripper. And there will be much rejoicing. Penny's Pit Stop. Hello, just found your channel. Do me a favor, start counting, and we will how long it takes your sub counter to update with my sub. Oh, I see. Hang on. There you go. Any more demons on the horizon? I live with my demon, Scarbrand. Yeah. I've got some demons, so I've got the combat patrol for corn demons, so I've got that to do, and you guys were quite receptive to the idea of having some alternate line infantry, so alternate bloodletters, alternate plague bearers, alternate pink horrors. Holy Diver, Mr. Katara, here he is. There's Thankwell. Be excited. Yep, Shalaxi and Kairos are on the list. Shalaxi and Kairos are on the list of models to buy, but they expensive. And you know, we live in a universe where Cities of Sigmar is on the way, Old World is on the way, there's new Tyranids on the way, there's new Space Marines on the way. So we also live in a world where who knows when next we shall have the time. So last week it would have been perfect for me to do a Shalaxi Hellbane and Kairos Fate Weaver and Rotigus, but I did not have the money at the time, so I fell back on the 3 things that I needed to get done, which were those individuals. That's awesome, Captain Mannerings. I really ought to promote that more often. Guys, we have a Firestorm affiliate link, and I should really put it in Discord, actually. I keep meaning to do that. If you're going to buy any Warhammer, do make sure to use the Firestorm Firestorm Games affiliate link, as it is another free way to support the channel by you getting the toys you want and me getting a little kickback from it. And I'll share it with you in the form of YouTube videos. Scarbrand, that is very, very kind of you. So what exactly is the difference between Old World and AOS? Old World is the world that was. Old World is basically Renaissance Europe with goblins and elves and orcs and things. It all takes place on Malus. Whereas Age of Sigmar is many, 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 many ages past since then, as Malice was destroyed during the end times by Archaon and various other nefarious individuals who managed to make everything go wrong in a perfect series of events, which ultimately ended with the world being destroyed and everyone was dead. The only one that survived was Sigmar himself, clinging to the burned fragments of the world that he once loved. But the winds of magic escaped and formed 8 new celestial realms, and the souls of those that perished, and the mighty souls of those, were drawn to the winds of magic, and thus began to coalesce into material planes. How often do people find old and sometimes derpy models prevent you from buying a whole army? Skaven have cool stuff that I want to paint, but the real old stuff makes me hold off. No, all the time. I'm saying for Beast of Chaos, that's for me. Skaven, I would like to do a whole Skaven army. Like to do Beast of Chaos, but the models are just really old. But that does give me hope that with Games Workshop doing things the way they have been doing, is that those ranges will get released. So you have to hold on to that desire, and then hope that the new range comes out and it's everything that you hoped it would be and more. Scarbrand. Coming in here with the 100 for the Greater Demon Fund. That is incredibly generous of you. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my lord. Do I have any skulls I can offer you? Only mine. Could do a blood sacrifice. We won't be doing blood sacrifices. But thank you. That's very kind of you. Which one would you want to see? Shalaxi or Kairos? Which one do you want to see first? Mike, I would love so much to do Old World and AOS lore videos. I really would. It would be my favourite thing in the whole wide world. The only issue with them is that nobody watches them. And again, it's a pile of work to put in. Because you've got to write it, check it, cross-reference it, make sure that it's all correct. Because if you get one thing wrong, someone comes after you with a bat. And yeah, and then it's just like I said, I'd love so much to just sit, talk, blood sacrifice a corn model. Farewell, my little bloodletter. You are right. Well, that's not for me to say, Tom. But it is lovely when people tell me that. And I love helping. I love helping people get better at enjoying Warhammer. And painting miniatures. It's my favourite thing in the world. It gives me a lot of joy. So, you know, to finish off the Lord Croak story, even if that video has just helped 1 or 2 people get their croaks done, it's a good video. It's just, it's hard when you put it out after so much request. And then it feels like none of those people are watching it. Do you know what I mean? Exactly, Chewy. Actually, I think you'll find... It's like when I did my Total War stream. I did a Total War stream ages ago, and there was a bunch of comments on it, just being like, it's not on the hardest difficulty, and you got the lore wrong. It's like, I didn't get the lore wrong. And also, why does it need to be on the hardest difficulty? Honestly, painting the stone circle around Croak is one of the hardest things to do. Because there's all those different blends, and it's a weird colour, and it has to look green and black, and the black can't look too green, and it has to blend, and all the blends are in different places, and there's an element of turquoise in there on just one of the stones. And then it's like, there's all these other details all the way around it, but if you paint all of the ring first, then you're going to get into a frightful mess later with it when you're trying to not get paint on it, because you will get paint on it. Oh man, it's just it was an absolute head ache to get that one. What is more beneficial to you, a YouTube membership or Patreon? They're both very, very beneficial, Vilka Era. YouTube memberships are lovely. Gifted YouTube memberships are really lovely because it means somebody gets a chance to join the Discord who might not necessarily get a chance to join the Discord. They might not want to. If you want inspiration, I was cleaning a Warhound today. You were cleaning another Warhound? Peter has my Warhound, ladies and gentlemen. I am excited to do that. I promise I won't give it away. Scarbrand, with one hand, he gives 100. With slaughter. And with the other, he gives carnage. With another £100. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That is Kairos and Shalaxi Hellbane covered. There you go. A Firestorm order live. We could do a Firestorm order live. Doobie-doop-be-doop. Where am I? Who am I? What's my name? I'm so sorry. Ba, 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 ba. Firestorm Games. So if we pop on here. Yeah, Richard, when? Alariel, when? I don't know. Eventually. Soon. Maybe. Hopefully this year. Yes, I can use my own Firestorm Games link. I shouldn't, like, abuse it. Where are we going? See some contrast painted Shatterpoint minis. Oh, I wonder if they've got Shatterpoint. Actually, let me get these into the basket first. Chaos Demons. And it's just your bog standard. Yeah, that one. Bosch. And it was Kairos as well, wasn't it? Demons of Zinch, Kairos Feyweaver. There we go. The link is in the description. Now let's see. Star Wars Shatterpoint. Who do you want to see? Is there a core box? Good lord, it's expensive. Yes, there is a core box. What do you get? What do you get in there? 16 miniatures. That's 131.99. Has a lot of terrain. Oh, that's good. Oh, yeah, 23 terrain pieces. Yeah, what is in there? The Shatterpoint core set. Ah, here we go. I want to open image in new tab. Is that $100 dono I see there from Mr. Ostrander himself? Guys, don't make me cry on stream again. Please. Or do, because it's very generous of you, but thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Control yourself, Josh. do I get the core set or do I buy a couple of boxes? Which one does everyone want to see? Don't blow it on black paint. Get a pint. Buy me a pint. It's happened more often on my stream than is normal. What do you mean? Oh no, not you too. I can't figure out what is in this box. I want to know what's in the box. Am I going to have to look at... Anakin, Rex, Clone Troopers, Ahsoka, Bo-Katan, Clan Kryze Mandalorians, Lord Maul, Gar Saxon, Super Commandos, Asajj Ventress, Kalani, Battle Droids, Tuka, Gantries. What sets are there? General Kenobi Squad. It would make sense to get the core box. Okay, I'll add it to basket. Heavy. Okay. It's in the basket. It's in the basket for you. But you have to promise me you're going to watch the Shatterpoint videos. Did you see my message, R.E. Shalaxi? I didn't, Mr. Collins. What did you say about Shalaxi? Did you say, paint it right now, drop everything? We are awaiting the mortgage to come through for the band. Yeah, I would do some Shatterpoint tutorials. I might even be able to convince Alice to play it with me. My eyes are just looking at some D&D models. They have some great ones like the Beholder or lots of dragons, including Tiamat, which is like a set. Oh, I know Tiamat very well. Our mother in strength. I'm 3/4 of the way through our we'll watch the video 500 times. You'll get Shalaxi. Are you sure, Peter? Because that's very generous of you. Are you sure? Are you 100%? Because Scarbrand has given me the money. Scarbrand has given me the money for it. This is one of the best sentences I've ever said. Is Alice joining in with a tale of many Warhipsters? I think she's intending to, yeah. She just didn't get around to it the first month. It took her a couple of months to get started. Meg is as well. But again, she didn't have enough time. Oh, there's 3 available, so 1 will get sent. Okay. Well, I will remove Shalaxi, but we'll get Shalaxi. End of you. I'll go in and remove it afterwards. I always remember to not put my what's it called? Payment details in. I'll remove it in post. Don't worry. Yeah, but I don't like to buy eBay versions of things. I like my own brand new ones. Yes, alright. I made a mistake. It's gone now. Most of you have my address anyway. Like I said, I'll remove that section of the stream once we're done. There we go, just to prove it has been done. For my next trick, here is my card. You step away from the computer for 5 minutes. Yeah, Alice, it's your fault. You left me unsupervised. You left me unsupervised, and now everyone knows where we live. Boop doop doo. A painting party. There is enough room for one of us to have a painting party. No, I tell a lie. There's enough room for 2 people to have a painting party, because Alice and I are able to paint in here. Except not when it's as hot as this. Alice, that's not true. Why are you gonna... I've lost track of the chat. I do apologise. That's what edge highlighting does to you, you know. Robert McDonough, that's very, very kind of you. Thank you for liking Lord Croak. Boop, 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 boop. Ah, dearie me. I was going to say something then. It's a little warm in my room at the moment, but nothing compared to what you guys have to deal with in hotter parts of the world. I just don't cope well with any kind of heat. I much rather being cold. I like to be cold. Cold like my heart. It's been much more forgiving this year than it was last year, because with that we had that heat wave, which was hideous. And I couldn't work for a week, and I was also dealing with some hideous tooth pain during that heat wave. It's just not the one. The entire right side of my jaw down here just felt like it was on fire, because the entire world felt like it was on fire, and it was like it's just shooting pain the entire time. There was nothing like visibly wrong. And there is nothing wrong with down there other than my wisdom teeth are a little crooked. But they had a look last time, or one of the times I went to the dentist, during my emergency referral, when this one down here broke. It was all fine. She only spotted a problem up here, and down there. Yeah, it's a lot easier to warm up than it is to cool down. That's what I always say. That's my motto. It's true though. Like when it's too hot, it is really tough to cool down. Whereas when it's really cold, you can get nice and cozy. Which is one of the benefits of having quite a small little studio. Is because my space heater, or rather Alice's space heater I should say, But the space heater that Alice has donated to me just heats the room up really quickly. Which is ideal when it's like when it's minus degrees outside. Especially on the long winter nights. For the recording always goes on, ladies and gentlemen. Recording happens between the hours of 2 p.m. and 4 a.m. Oh, it was hideous. It was hideous pain. I did a stream about how I hate the dentist recently. Peter and I caught up about dentistry very recently, and yeah, you will be pleased to know that my mouth is in good nick now. I don't have to go back for like hideous surgeries, procedures anymore, at least for the foreseeable future. Drink pineapple juice a few days before they removed the wisdom teeth. My eldest daughter had them removed a month ago, and her recovery is really fast and almost painless. Mine, on the other hand, that's a great tip. I am in a rented accommodation. Yeah. We need to get to like 1,000 members before I can buy a house. Or before I can even start to get together a deposit to buy a house. Mr. Joe is here. Did you enjoy watching Guardians of the Galaxy 3? Did it make you sad? I'm in Cheltenham, John. So when you talked about a football match earlier, I was like, damn. Yeah, no, I'm in Cheltenham. Gloucestershire. The West Country. I need to watch Guardians 3. I haven't watched it yet. The pandemic really taught me that I didn't have to rush out to see movies anymore, you know? And because I used to go and see all of the Marvel stuff pretty much the weekend it was released. But I was just like, just can't be asked anymore. Thanks, pandemic. We did, however, go and see Spider-Verse 2. It was a rip-roaringly good time, had by all. I was just putting a little bit of Black Templar on this guy's base. I've been meaning to do it for a couple of days. I've told Joe and Liam if they get some AOS armies together, I'll come down and referee for them as they learn the game. However, I am not a kind referee. I demand strict adherence to the rules at all times. There will be no let-offs. Any chance we can know what the next video from you shall be? Yes, Cameron, it is Thanquol and Bone Ripper. This guy. I've just figured whilst I've got some form of... Whilst I'm riding high from you guys being all supportive and entertaining and lovely and awesome, I should get the paint down on the base so that I don't leave this until really late tonight. He feels the motivation returning. Is Warhipster back? I don't know. But I'd like to be. Skaven are one of those, like, they're just so... I always think of them as just being, like, so Warhammer. Particularly the way that Games Workshop makes their Skaven miniatures. Because, like, Ratman isn't a particularly new concept, you know. Lots of other things have done Ratmen. But the way that Games Workshop does them is so uniquely Games Workshop. There are always rumors. But yes, there are rumours that a new range of Skaven is on the way. Which, if there's any basis to that, if it's not a made up lie, it will be a 4th edition thing. Because 4th is on its way. You know, we're in the midst of the Harbingers campaign. Which generally spells the end of an edition. So then we have to look forward to a core box. And who knows what's going to be in that core box. It'll be Stormcast Eternals versus insert Chaos faction here. And it makes sense to me that it would either be Skaven, Beasts of Chaos, or Dark Oath. When did you send it, Chad? Yeah, so the first shortly after the third one. No, I can't see it, Chad. Is there a way to see? Yeah, no, according to the viewer activity, I got your 10 gifted memberships, Chad, but not a super chat. I'll just refresh the page 1 second. Yeah, no. As far as I can see, no. Yeah, they... I don't think you will see Stormcast Eternals versus Order. I think it will. I think it will be Stormcast Eternals versus Chaos. Whether it's going to be a brand new Chaos faction or one of the older ones getting a redo. Older ones getting a redo would be awesome. So Skaven or Beasts. But Dark Oath War Clans would be a brand new one. Which would be really, really cool. Just like a full-on all mortals all the time Slaves to Darkness style thing. But that's the problem, is there's a lot of crossover with Slaves to Darkness, which is why I don't know if there will be a Dark Oath War Clans one, because so many of the Slaves to Darkness kind of mortals go into like the basically Marauder equivalents, so like the Warcry stuff. If you just had all Warcry Mortal War bands, you would have a sick army. It wouldn't be very good on the tabletop. Well, I don't know. It might be quite good. You'd be drowning people in hundreds of miniatures, but it would look amazing. Lumineth Realm Lords. I feel like Lumineth Realm Lords are due a not another box, but they're due another thing, because where's Tyrion and his mob? Unless he's gonna get something different, which is different to the Lumineth, even though he is part of the Lumineth Realm Lords faction. Is that a pot of Nurgle's Rot just there? Yes. Do I have a new pot of Nurgle's Rot? I thought I did. Is this it? Yes. Oh, hi, Daniel. Yeah, Chaos Dwarves could be a thing. People saw, what were they called? The Horns of Hashut. And thought that meant that Chaos Dwarves were coming. But yeah, I think it will be... Stormcast versus Chaos, because all things are cyclical in Age of Sigmar, and it makes sense for it to be Chaos. And if you haven't read Harbinger, book 1 in the Dawnbringers series, you should, because there's Chaos are definitely up to no good in that. Chaos would still mean Skaven, yeah. The Great Horned Rat is a member of the Pantheon. There we go. He's finished now. Katara, if you're still here, can you let me know if you want the snow on the base as well? Yeah. The first Dawnbringers book. The story bit at the beginning of that is great. I was also working on these 4 gentlemen tonight. So they are fully shaded, fully base coated. They are just in the highlighting stage now. And the red is highlighted with the Evil Sun Scarlet and will be done with Fire Dragon Bright. There's all the metallics that need to be done. The flesh and the black. So really it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. Flesh, black, that's 2. Gold, silver, 3, 4. Fire Dragon Bright. That's 5. 5 paints left to go on these. It's just all the fiddly work. Beep, beep, doop, 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 doop. Any good corn books in AOS lore? I think there's one about the Gore Tide. Let me have a look. Age of Sigmar. There's the Call of Chaos as a series, 12 short stories, which is, I haven't listened to it in ages. There's one here called God Eater's Son, which I've not listened to or read, but that is about chaos. No, it's not. It sounds very compelling. I've just read the thing. God Eater's Son sounds like a great book. The Gortide get a really good showing in the first couple of Realmgate Wars books. They do get defeated by the Stormcast. Spoiler alert. But I think it's Realmgate. It's one of them. One of the Realmgate Wars. Call of Archeon. Is that it? Yeah. I think it's... Yeah, Call of Archeons are really good. Because that's about Champions of Chaos wanting to become part of the Varangard. It's very good. How many battle line units for this month? Just the one. Unless you want to do more. What's a good book to start with if you know nothing about AOS? I really enjoyed the Dominion book, just as a book. I thought it was really good. It's a nice introduction to Age of Sigmar and like the general people and what this edition was about. Another really fun listen / read is the Cursed City novel. It's just a good book. My favourite book of Black Library, my favourite Black Library book for a long time has been Plague Garden, which is about the Hallowed Knights and the Garden of Nurgle, and it's great. And it's a really satisfying next step for them on from the Realmgate Wars books sections that they were in. They've got 3 in the Realmgate Wars books in book 1, 3, and 4. As Wardens of the Everqueen, Warstorm, and another one. I might have got those all wrong. But the Cursed City book is a really good book just to listen to. As a jumping on point, it's not a bad place to jump on. Dominion again, like I said. Soul Wars is also really good. A lot of the books I'm talking about follow the world through the eyes of the Stormcast. As they are kind of the newcomers. Well, less so. But those are ones I would recommend 100%. Oh. What time is it? My goodness me, it's 20 to 11. It's probably time for us to stop there. I've done more than I thought I would. Thanks to all of you. We now have 2 Greater Demons and a new Star Wars game, Shatterpoint, on the way. I feel a little bit more buzzed. Thank you. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for cheering me up. I needed that. Scarbrand, Chad, Kataro, Nerdok Prime, Holy Diver, PD Ostrander. You guys are legends. Thank you so much for your donations, for the memberships. It's very, very kind of you. But we are probably going to conclude things there. And there will be a video tomorrow, and I'm sure there will be a video on Saturday. And then there will be more videos next week, and the week after, and the week after that. As to what they will be, I have no idea. But there will be. Oh, you guys inspire me all the time. And I love you all very much. Thank you. Thank you so much for everything that you guys do. Yeston Jones with the 3. Thank you very much. Coming in right at the end there. With a waving cat. I shall wave back at your cat. And all of you. And I shall remind you all that you're amazing. I love you very much. You inspire me to be better. And I will see you all very, very soon in the next one. Bye-bye.